Welcome into this week's Sideline Guys powered by Gainbridge. If you are watching our show, you can very clearly see our guests. If you're listening here this week, Jeremiah Johnson's with me as always, and we're thrilled to have one of the Pacers rookies, Ben Sheppard, with us. He's kind of been the man of the last month or so. And Ben, when you think back to your last year, like if you think of where you were this time last year, so much has happened from finishing college to being drafted, a first-round selection, moving to a new city, some G League ball, some NBA ball, and now you're a key fixture in a playoff run here for the Pacers. I guess, how would you summarize everything that's happened in the last year?
Yeah, it's been a long journey. So much happened so fast after I lost my last college game. All that pre-draft stuff just leading up to the draft. It's kind of like a whirlwind. And right after that, I was at Summer League and then right into training camp. So it's been good. I'm trying to take it day by day, but definitely been good. Learning a lot, doing as best as I can. So
your story is still very early, and there's so much more that'll be written over the coming years. But I'm wondering if you could go back in time and tell that version of you a year ago where you'd be now, what he would be thinking.
I think he'd be like, "This is crazy." That's about it. I mean, I don't know. I believe in myself, so yeah. I'd probably believe that I'm here right now. Yeah. So.
We were recording a podcast much like this with Jarris Walker and you after the day after the draft. And at that point, everything has to be flying at you. And you just, you're meeting people, but you're not really remembering their names, but you're also like looking around like, this is where I'm going to call home. Do you remember much about that 48 hours from draft night until your introductory press conference and just kind of what that was like?
Yeah, I was with all my family members in New York City. We rented a restaurant out. And all my loved ones were there, all my friends, all my boys from high school. And then after my name got called, we went out and then got on a plane the next morning, got to Indiana, and just so much happening at so much time. So it's been good, though.
You mentioned that once the Belmont season ended, it was all about proving yourself so you would get drafted. Then once you're drafted, what was that next 2 to 3 months like to then prove or get yourself ready for this new NBA experience?
Yeah, I bet some people were confused why a mid-major kid from Belmont went first round. So in those couple of months, I was just trying to prove to everybody that I was deserving of that pick and that I'm here and that I'm ready to compete just like the other guys. So,
going back and looking at some articles of you pre-draft, mocks are sometimes worth the paper that they're written on, mock drafts. But at the same time, you could find everything from this guy could be a late lottery pick to this guy could be a mid-second round pick. Is that what you were hearing? And I guess that's a big range. You obviously ended up a first-round draft pick, but what was that experience like? And did you think there could be a wide range of where you were going to go?
Yeah, so I did 19 pre-draft workouts, actually. So 19 different teams, 19 different cities. I worked out from the 16th pick to the 36th pick. So all those teams, all those picks I had worked out with. So I knew that was my range. Heard a lot of good things throughout the whole process. So it's definitely cool watching myself grow each workout, climb the ladder, and just compete against the best players in that draft. So
that climbing of the ladder for you, I want to talk about it way before we're talking about here. Take me back to the Atlanta area and some of your first memories of basketball, how you fell in love with the sport and kind of how it initially blossomed your young career.
Yeah, so growing up in Atlanta, my dad coached me all types of sports, football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse. I did a lot growing up, and my dad was always there for me. But basketball, later on, like middle school, high school, I wanted to really focus on it. And that's when I started to actually work out, watch film, do stuff out of the ordinary to get me to where I am today. But Atlanta as a city is super competitive. And I was a late bloomer, grew 6 inches or 7 inches my junior year.
Wow.
So, I came in my senior year and everyone was like, who is this kid? And that's when recruiting started to take off and eventually landed at Belmont. Started slow and grew every year, just took big steps and, led me here.
You said that you've focused in on basketball, middle school, maybe early high school, but that's pre-growth spurt.
Yeah.
So as much as you loved it, there still maybe can be a cap of where you're 5'10" at most?
Yeah. I was 5'10" up until junior year. Honestly, I didn't
Did you think the growth spurt was coming, or did it catch family by surprise too?
I mean, my parents are tall, so I felt like I was going to grow a little bit. I didn't know that was going to happen, but started getting late there. And I was like, our college is really going to recruit me. I'm kind of small, undersized, skinny. But, yeah, it all worked out. I didn't think I was going to be playing at college basketball. So, but, yeah.
So then that happens, and then maybe it's your senior year AAU or even high school season where all of a sudden you start getting colleges reaching out to you and giving you more attention. How did that happen?
That summer before my senior year, went to a couple of showcase tournaments, AAU, and it just took off from there. A lot of Ivy League schools, a lot of mid-major schools, no high majors, but yeah, a lot of coaches that believed in me after that.
This is a good opportunity. A lot of the kids are on YouTube, and so because this is on YouTube, if you're a middle school basketball player right now, or even freshman, sophomore, and you're not getting the attention you want, this is a good lesson to keep working. Things can work out in your way. What would you say to someone that's watching that's a child or a boy or girl that just loves basketball?
I'd say just never compare yourself to others. Always focus on yourself, work on your game. There's going to be highs and lows in every sport and anything in life, and just staying focused and believing in yourself. Probably say that to them.
And eat a lot of spinach, or what was the key to the growth spurt?
I don't know.
I don't. Parents.
I don't drink. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about kind of that time as you're moving on to Belmont, because if you look at the recruiting pages of most of the guys on this roster, including the guy who was picked in the first round with you for this team, you see 5 stars and you see a billion schools and you see a ton of recruiting visits. And for you, the story is different. Was it motivation at the time? Like, I know I should be in a group like that? Or were you kind of like, I've hit this growth spurt, college is a thing, kind of flying by the seat of your pants? Do you remember what it was like mentally during that time?
It was definitely, I used that as motivation. Even when I was a smaller guard growing up in high school, I'd be at these tournaments and I'd be killing these 5-star, 4-star players. And I'd get frustrated because after the games, I'd see them posting all their offers and stuff, and I'd just be like, I was just busting this kid's ass. But yeah, I definitely use that as motivation, definitely in college too. Yeah, seeing those stars and stuff, I don't care too much about that, but I deserve my respect, so.
Well, you earned it, and you eventually received it. I want to go back to your career at Belmont, because you're going to be, this will still happen, but you're going to be one of very few, I think, players in history when you look back, or maybe one of the last ones that plays 4 years at a school and then is drafted into the NBA with the transfer portal and players leaving early. Your story is not a common one. Why did you want to stay at Belmont? And I'm sure at some point you got to a point where other schools were starting to recognize you at a high level. What went into the loyalty to stay?
Just my love for my coaches and my teammates. That was one of the main reasons I stayed. Junior year that season, I kind of had a great year. And a lot of schools were trying to talk me out of staying at Belmont. But eventually I just stayed just because my teammates needed me. I love the program. It's a great school. Love the city of Nashville. So just all worked out.
I know the goal is always in college to make it to the NCAA tournament, and while you didn't get that experience, you did get the full college experience. How did that prepare you for where you're at right now?
4-year guy, played a lot of basketball. I just have a lot of experience. Maybe not NBA experience yet, but definitely that type of gameplay, college gameplay. 4 years of that, you learn a lot. And especially here, it got me really prepared for it in terms of like terminology, sets that they run up here, stuff like that.
Seems like you're a loyal guy. During the course of this season, when you have downtime, are you reaching out to your college teammates or college coach? What's that communication level been like? Because it's not that long ago, you were just right there.
Yeah, I talk to my college teammates almost every day, a couple of them.
Have a group chat going?
Yeah, but every Belmont game that's on, I try to watch and support those guys. So, yeah.
When you had just been drafted and we were sitting down with you and Jairus, I remember asking you if what Andrew Nembhard did was a good path for you. You're different players, you're a bit bigger, but there are a lot of similarities there. 4-year guys that have been able to contribute right away. How pivotal was the 4 years of college to you to being ready right away? And do you see parallels between what you've done your rookie year and what Andrew did?
Yeah, I definitely see parallels. Andrew being a 4-year guy and doing what he did last year in his rookie year, that's inspiring. I'm trying to leave that level of impact too this year. But yeah, I definitely say those 4 years helped me out in terms of like speed and physicality, just like the physical aspect of this game, just letting my body develop. I gained like 30 pounds in college, but I still got more to go, but because the NBA is so physical, but definitely prepared me, so.
When you look back at the beginning of the year to now, you've had a lot of signature moments, and I want to get to them. But I want to ask you about the Mad Ants too, and the G League in general, because Rick talks a lot about how much you and Jairus both gained from that experience and how it's impacting both of your play now. What do you feel like you got from playing with the Mad Ants?
I got a lot of confidence. We ran the same sets down there as we do on the Pacers, and yeah, when me and Jairus were down there, we didn't have to play out of ourselves. Those guys accepted us, and I'm so thankful for that. I know how some guys look down on people who get called down and all that stuff, but they took us in and played team basketball. Didn't do anything out of the ordinary, but yeah, I learned a lot down there.
Pacers just concluded a practice, and after practice, some shooting, and I observed you getting a little one-on-one lesson from Rick Carlisle, and it's one of the things, he'll pull guys aside all the time, but how does that make you feel when he gives you some one-on-one instruction, and maybe share a little bit about what he's working with you on?
Yeah, it feels good that a man like him is pouring into a guy like me so early on, but yeah, coach is so detail-oriented, and I respect that a lot out of him, and yeah, just helping me out with my shot, other things too, but super smart guy, and I'm always open to hearing everyone's perspective. So,
what's been the biggest adjustment, offense or defense? I mean, I know it's all part of the same game, but it's more than just coming out and being ready to shoot. Yeah. And defense is where I think you've really shined over the last month.
I definitely say defense. The skill level at this level of basketball is super high. Anyone could come off the bench, score. The stars too are super hard to guard. Just learning a lot. Learning how to use my body in the right way without fouling. But yeah, a lot goes into defense. And I'd say offense is a little bit easier just because I know my role. I know what's expected of me. So, yeah.
It's almost like there are more plays called defensively than offensively. I mean, this is such a free-flowing offense, but defense, it can change from timeout to timeout of who's switching and what you're sort of focusing on.
Definitely. Coach lets us play so free on the offensive side, but defensive stuff, we have so many tactics and so many calls, so you got to keep up with that.
Rookie year has a lot of firsts. I'm wondering what it was like for you, that first moment you step on an NBA floor, those first points. I remember early on you hitting a corner three and the bench just erupting for you. What all of those firsts and those experiences been like for you?
Really cool. It's my dream of playing in the NBA, so having these things happen throughout the course of this season, it's been really cool, and just happy to be here. I got more work to do, but it's definitely been good. Grateful for it all. So
I've got a clip here, and I'm going to have Jeremiah play it for you since he's closer. And if you can, I would like for you to just watch it and maybe kind of narrate it as you go, what you remember about this play.
Give us your best Quinn Buckner analyst call, okay?
Okay. So Miles just missed a free throw. I saved the ball from going out of bounds. Good hustle play. Offensive, Drew shoots it. Aaron gets the rebound, blocked. I kind of lag behind. And I take it out of his hands, dive on the floor, come back into the play, steal it again. And I think I got fouled here. Then there's me kind of hyping up the crowd, but yeah, so much energy in that game. And I think part of my role on the team is energy off the bench. So, yeah.
You know, I'm curious what it's like in the perspective of the player going through a sequence like that. I'm sure it's all just reactionary, right? I mean, you don't have really time to think. It's just read and react. But I think back to some of the top moments this year, that kind of fits into my top 3, top 5 moments. What was it like to kind of have the starring role, and especially in the situation you're in as a rookie, and you had started to be getting more playing time at that moment?
Yeah. I mean, if you remember that game, I didn't get any playing time up until the fourth quarter, and I played the whole fourth quarter. So, Yeah, literally just staying ready. I didn't think I was going to play that game, but I was ready when my name was called, and I was going to do everything I could to affect the game. And I was so fresh, so just trying to out-hustle, outplay, outguard these guys. So it's definitely cool.
As that ball goes in and you're kind of having that moment with the crowd, like, do you remember that moment and what it was like?
I kind of black out. But I remember getting back to the bench and all my teammates just saying how proud they are of me. So, yeah.
That's got to be a night after a situation like that where the phone blows up a little bit, right? I mean, for a guy, once you're in the league a long time, you hope to have a lot of those. But to have one of those moments, who'd you hear from?
I heard from everybody. All my boys back home, college coaches, college teammates. Obviously, my parents, I saw them because they're pinned. But, yeah, I still have a lot of missed text messages, honestly. But, yeah, glad they're keeping up with me.
And that sort of, I think, paved the way for what we've seen over the last month, because you get that experience, you're in a crucial situation, and you know, mid-season trade happens, the rotations change just a little bit. But it struck me, and I asked you about this afterwards, when the Pacers are in Dallas playing Luka Doncic, and just, it's no big deal. You're just out there, you know, guarding him, and he's on this incredible run of triple-double, scoring 30 points, and not that it didn't take a lot of work, but the moment was in no way too big for you. You were ready. You were pressuring him. You were almost being a little bit of a pest to him. Yeah. I mean, how did that moment get you to there, and now everything can just fall into place?
Yeah, I'm just so grateful. My coaches have that trust in me to guard those type of players. And when I wasn't playing early on in the season, someone I look at defensively is TJ. He's like my vet. So, yeah, just trying to be like a pest like he is. I think that Denver Nuggets clip is kind of like TJ-esque. But, yeah, just doing my best every time my name's called. Just stacking days, trying to get better every day. So.
TJ is someone fans love, and I think that play probably reminded the fans of a TJ-like play. But how has he helped you off the court? How has he been your vet? Maybe share a story or two of what makes you guys so close.
Yeah, right when I got here, TJ immediately started to pour into me. We go to dinner every road game, sit next to each other on the plane, text each other, call each other, just mess around, have fun. But, yeah, that's my guy. I appreciate everything he's done for me. But, yeah, great guy to look up to, and also someone to have your back. So
now that chemistry can help because you're running second unit rotations a lot together. So he got to know you off the court, he helped you along, and now you're helping each other.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely fun playing alongside TJ. I think most of my shots come from TJ too. So yeah, it's been good though.
The 3-and-D prototype is one that has become extremely valuable in today's NBA, and sometimes guys don't really like the label because they feel like, I do more than just shoot threes and play defense, but it is clearly two of the things that you do the best. Is that how you see your role, and as you kind of project your own future and the type of player that you want to be, what do you see?
I definitely think 3-and-D role is something that I want to get to. See those guys, 3-and-D guys like, I don't know, Mikal Bridges, the Martin twins, people like them, great players. That's where I'm trying to be at. I know it's expected of me. I'm not the type of guy to go isolation or do anything out of the ordinary, but I know my role, and I think that's a good thing. So, yeah, I'm trying to be a 3-and-D guy.
Along those lines of that type of player, is there anybody that growing up you modeled your game after, or is there anybody you were just naming a few that you look at and kind of aspire to be similar to?
I don't know why I didn't say Klay Thompson earlier, but I watched a lot of his stuff, his footwork, defensive highlights, just shot formation, stuff like that. But yeah, definitely watching a guy like that.
As we record this podcast, 15 games to go, and you mentioned that one game that you were fresh in the fourth quarter. Because you haven't been logging heavy minutes all season, are you still full of energy now? Because you hear a lot about a rookie wall, and just the travel alone can make you a little bit worn out this late into your first season. How are you feeling physically right now?
I feel good, surprisingly. I've been going since April. I thought I'd hit a wall a long time ago, but yeah, just keeping my body right, eating right, sleeping enough, getting treatment definitely helps. So yeah, I feel great. I'm ready for the postseason.
I was going to say, to that point, last one from me. This is Pat and I talk. March we love because we love basketball, and whether it's high school, college, or the battle for playoff positioning, it really heats up in March. What's your objective for the next month or so, and how excited are you just to experience this all for the first time?
Yeah, I'm super excited, especially being a part of a team that could potentially make the playoffs my first year. It's definitely something cool. And yeah, as far as myself, try to just do everything I can to affect the game in a positive way and be ready, do whatever's needed. But yeah, I think we can get that 4 seed, keep playing well. But yeah, that's what we're aiming for.
Just a tip, that crowd, when you made that play, it's like that from opening tip till the end when you have a home game here. So, I mean, just get ready.
Yeah, definitely excited for that.
Final thought here from me, as an Atlanta kid who played his college ball in Nashville, you've kind of been making this line up north. Indiana maybe is fitting geographically here for you, but a year ago, you of course had no idea where you'd be playing, and now you're here with the Pacers and you've got a rotational role. But it's not just that. I think you've become a fan favorite. You start seeing some Sheppard jerseys around, and you start seeing on Twitter, people commenting about you. I think it's the style of your play, a little TJS, that lends itself to the fans. But what's, I guess, it been like for you to be embraced by the fan base like this as a newcomer to the team, the franchise, the city?
It's definitely cool. I didn't really notice it. I stay off of social media and stuff like that. But yeah, it just hits me in times like when I'm walking my dog and someone come up to me like, I really love your hustle, stuff like that. Just inspires me to keep playing hard and keep doing whatever I'm doing to make the fans like my game. So,
you know what else they like? The smile.
The smile, yeah. We can't.
That was like the
podcast
highlight
without
of
the smile.
our season, our podcast a year ago when we found out you were voted best smile in the yearbook. So,
Do the baby photos have the smile? Like, does the smile go all the way from day
all
one?
the way back, yeah.
just keep smiling, and they'll keep cheering for you no matter what.
Well, a little behind the scenes here, and those who don't, of course, know, you just got done with an extended practice, so we appreciate your time very much here sitting down with us for 20, 25 minutes, and best of luck as your rookie season continues, and hopefully those playoff experiences are coming your way.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right, that's Ben Sheppard here on the Sideline Guys, powered by Gainbridge.